Batman has a red line he doesn't cross, especially with the Joker who has killed thousands. Yet Batman still hasn't killed him. Now, I want to introduce you to 7 people that Batman has killed. First on our list is a group of criminals that Batman burns alive. This is from Frank Miller's comics, known for dark Batman stories. These stories are rated 18+ and not suitable for all ages. In this story, Dick Grayson, his apprentice, verbally and physically abuses them. This group, attempting to steal bleach, is burned alive by Batman using the very bleach they tried to steal. After that, Batman is just a few steps away from where he burned them, and it really is a dark situation. The second one on our list is the Joker. In this story, Dick Grayson verbally and physically abuses the group, which has a bizarre nature. They attempt to steal bleach, and Batman burns them alive, using the bleach they tried to steal. He sets them on fire, standing nearby, killing them in a dark, disrespectful way. Next is the Joker, where Batman finally kills him, breaking a long-standing taboo. In the Killing Joke, Batman ends the Joker's actions. The Joker's situation worsens, crossing boundaries, torturing James Gordon, and paralyzing his daughter Barbara. He sets criminals on fire and burns them. And then Batman, the black-haired one, is standing just a few steps from where he burned them. And yeah, it's really Darkseid, and he kills them in the most disrespectful way possible. His second in command is the Joker. Finally, Batman breaks his long-standing rule and kills the Joker in the Killing Joke comic series. This decisive action ends the Joker's reign. The Joker's situation worsens, crossing boundaries, torturing James Gordon, and paralyzing his daughter Barbara. Batman now has the chance to defeat the Joker once and for all. He goes all out in a famous fight, breaking the Joker's neck in a rain-soaked confrontation, ending his terror. Next on our list is Dr. Hugo Strange, a mad scientist who uses a serum to turn hospital patients into monsters. This dark comic shows Batman taking him down. Batman now has the chance to defeat Prince Charming and crime once and for all. He fights him, and does a battle that is truly his own, and is a very famous one. After they perform a famous joint battle, under the rain, Batman snaps the Joker's neck, and ends the reign of terror of the villain once and for all. The third one on our list is Dr. Hugo Strange, where Batman takes one of these individuals down. The comic is really dark, as it features a mad scientist who, as I mentioned, uses a special serum to turn patients in his hospital into a bunch of monsters. After this, Batman learns about this situation and quickly decides to hop on his Batplane or his plane and go fight these monsters or henchmen that are under Dr. Hugo Strange's command, who are set to seriously contaminate Gotham. These are referred to as a bunch of monsters. After this, Batman learns about the situation and quickly decides to hop on his Batplane or his own aircraft and go fight these monsters, or henchmen, that are under Dr. Hugo Strange's command, who are set to seriously contaminate Gotham. The comic series is set in Batman's early days when he was fond of weapons. He uses a machine gun to take down henchmen, causing crashes. Afterward, he captures a monster by hanging it from an airplane, dragging it around the city. Now, number 4 on our list is KG-20, a Soviet assassin who comes to Gotham to kill President Reagan, resulting in a confrontation with Batman. KG-20 initially overpowers Batman, but Batman regains control. However, Batman faces a dilemma. Handing KG-20 to authorities means extradition back to the Soviet Union. Arguably, this person, hanging from Batman's airplane, has been hanged, marking the end of that individual. Number 4 on our list is KG-20, the biggest assassin of the Soviet Union, who comes to Gotham to kill President Ronald Reagan. This event took place in the 1980s, and it's clear that he's going to have a serious confrontation with Batman. This monster, KG-20, initially overpowers Batman and ultimately defeats him, but our Dark Knight Batman regains control. However, he faces a dilemma. If Batman were to hand KG-20 over to the authorities, they would have to extradite him back to the Soviet Union, which means he would be free in his homeland once again. This monster, KG-20, overpowers and defeats Batman. However, Batman eventually regains control of the situation, but he faces a dilemma. If Batman hands KG-20 to authorities, they would have to extradite him back to the Soviet Union, meaning he'd be free at home. So instead, Batman delivers this monster to the sewers of Gotham, locking him inescapably. He dies alone, thirsty and hungry, deep in Gotham's sewers. It is released, and in the future, it is released, and in the future, it is released. So instead, Batman delivers this monster to Gotham City's FazLab and essentially locks him in a room he can't escape from in any way, essentially burying him alive, which means no food or water, and he dies of thirst and hunger in a lonely room in in Gotham City's FazLab. Number 5 on our list is Darkseid. From the famous Final Crisis comic series, Darkseid is wreaking havoc on the Justice League and universe. But when Darkseid confronts Batman, the Dark Knight emerges victorious. Batman shoots a radium bullet at the Dark God, Darkseid, and fatally wounds him. The bullet exploits Darkseid's weaknesses, leading to his death. In the end, even Darkseid has weaknesses, even silly ones. The radium bullet is powerful, and Batman exploits that weakness. He shoots at the Dark God, Darkseid, and fatally wounds him with a radium bullet that exploits Darkseid's weaknesses. Ultimately, this bullet leads to his death in this comic. In the end, even Darkseid or any of the gods you might mention have their weaknesses, even silly ones. And this radium bullet is indeed powerful, and Batman takes advantage of that weakness. Now moving on to number 6 on our list. I should mention that in this case, Batman doesn't kill anyone, but he causes some really bad deaths that are ultimately attributed to him. I would write down the murders as being Batman's responsibility. He kills the Doctor. Batman doesn't kill, but causes deaths attributed to him. These are Batman's responsibility. In Batman, The Nightfall, 1990, Batman is broken by a villain. Bruce Wayne, incapacitated, hires Jean-Paul, Azrael, to be Batman. Azrael, merciless, kills criminals. Batman realizes his mistake. One of the famous aspects of this story is Batman's fall in 1990, which narrates how larger villains came to be and the breaking of Batman's code. Bruce Wayne becomes powerless and decides that Gotham needs a Batman, so he hires a criminal from the city named John Paul, also known as Azrael, until Azrael takes over the dark side. But this situation is disastrous because Azrael shows no mercy in fighting crime and unleashes all his violence on criminals, killing them all. After this, Azrael throws a serial killer into a metal chamber to die, and then Batman realizes what has happened. After that, Bruce starts to feel sick. He rushes back to Gotham to eliminate his own madness. There was a list of a week where Batman broke the neck of one of the criminals, and Dr. Ogai, whom I mentioned in our list, released many individuals as monsters in the city. One of them, whom Batman kills, is right here, and the second on the list is Dr. Ogai himself, where Batman attacks his apartment and fights him. I find myself getting sick. He rushes back to Gotham. A week ago, Batman broke a criminal's neck. Dr. Ogai released monsters in the city, and one Batman kills is here. The second on the list is Dr. Ogai himself. Batman attacks his apartment. Batman brings him outside. He jumps out to avoid harm. He thinks Batman jumped to avoid incident. Mikhail looks out. Batman is above him. Batman kicks Mikhail's neck, killing him. When Batman brings the criminal, he jumps out the window to avoid harm to others. Mikhail doesn't realize that Batman intends to finish him off and thinks that Batman jumped to protect him. But Mikhail looks out the window and Batman is already above him. At that moment, Batman delivers a deadly kick to the neck of Mikhail, killing him. Batman has a rule: never kill big villains like Joker. But Batman has killed 7, and the list could be bigger. If Batman showed his true self, he'd be a killer. Batman kills Mikhail with a deadly neck kick. Yeah, you saw it right. Batman has all these rules for himself. And just one very important red line: he should never kill larger villains like the Joker. But this small list of 7 people includes those that Batman has killed, and the list could be much larger than just these individuals. If Batman were to show his true self, he would just be a big killer. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because the big ones are just as dead as we are. Until the next video, take care.